is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to Friday Night Live. We've got Mac on the screen. Hello, Mac. We've got Joe on the audio only. Joe, are you there?
Come on, man.
Come on, man. Someone just asked me, is this Joe lol Hart? And I said, yes, it is. That's his signature.
Who asked that? Who was it that asked
That's
that?
a big fan of yours.
Who's that?
That's Dardasha, who's also saying, I wonder what's the topic for tonight. Well,
is Dardasha my friend?
Yeah, Dardasha is the rival channel to this channel, but we're actually good friends, and I married her.
How does Dardasha know about me?
Because you're famous, and your Facebook reactions are even more notorious.
On your stuff?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But look, the topic we want to talk about, we want to get stuck into, is what's on the screen now. GameStop's three largest shareholders earn over $2 billion amid stock surge.
Yeah, well, that's a bit of a loaded, that's really just collateral damage, isn't it? That's a side effect. That's not really the main story. That's a bit of a distraction, I think.
What's it a side effect of?
Oh, what isn't it a side effect of? I mean, it's a side effect of, there was a glitch in the system that was seized on, and you can't. The system wasn't designed by Wall Street bets. It was just exploited, and to a certain extent, when they flooded the system, the rising tide, raises all ships or whatever. Those were the people that happened to be at the top of. I mean, the headline makes it as if they sort of orchestrated it, right? Which they didn't. They happened to benefit the most because they happened to be the biggest shareholders. I don't know that they were too central to the. Other than that, they happened to, gain the most, like $2 billion, which is eye-catching. What is that, from The Guardian, it looks like?
Yes, well spotted. That is from The Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really. They gave quite a bit of inaccurate coverage about this this event as well, when they were saying that I got called out for posting it because it was the first thing that came on my news feed, the first story that I got, and I just posted the first news article that I found. And I posted the news article. It said that it was basically a report that Robinhood had halted the trading, and the shares are expected to go down. And that was pure fake news.
Okay. Who's Robinhood in all of this, Joe?
So Robinhood is obviously the startup stock brokerage, American stock brokerage. They were going to launch in the UK this last year. Mm-hmm. Mid last year, they were saying, and then they delayed it, and it kept going indefinitely. And who knows what happened? But it's an American, brokerage startup, and they allow people to. They pioneered free stock trading on your smartphone. So you just transfer your money into the app, and you buy stocks, and you don't pay any fees. And they might screw people. There's been investigations of them. So the name is obviously they're trying to expand access to the opportunities of the financial markets to the masses, to give it to the common man, as Robinhood
and woman
in the myth or the tale or whatever of Robin Hood that stole from the rich and gave to the poor. Now, they are obviously looking to make money. They're not doing it for fun or for a social, vision or ideal or something. About expanding opportunities to all Americans or anything. So they've been fined for, poor execution quality. So they cut people on the prices that they provide. Sorry, your video feed has gone into the Guardian. Oh, there you are.
Sorry, I'm just reminding myself. Yeah, go on.
I mean, I don't know, man. There's come on, man. There's been different kinds of incidents with Robinhood, and I think there was a big fine that I was reading about. It was quite interesting, where they say it's free trades, but they chip you on execution quality, which, according to American financial regulations, the stockbroker has a fiduciary duty to give a best possible execution quality on trades, which means that they give you the best price available that's actually on the order books of the markets. And they were calculating the amount of money that they've costed their users in price differences in terms of what prices orders were executed at cumulatively. It was an insane amount per user that users were losing out on per trade. So they're the ones that. But what's interesting is that from last year or so, I think most of the American brokerages, in order to compete, have completely nixed all of their fees. So the fee-free trading is now quite ubiquitous, including at brokerages that might have for some more scruples than Robinhood. But what's interesting about Robinhood is that they did expand access and participation in the financial markets. And I was just thinking to myself, how much fuel does this rally really have, and how much firepower do the basement dwellers of Reddit actually have in terms of their their war chests? And because to keep the price going up, there has to be buying pressure, and there has to be people buying. And in order for people to keep on buying, they have to have cash at the ready to buy with, right? So I was thinking, how much firepower can these kids really have, and the grassroots, because they are the common people. They're not Wall Street, who's rolling in money, that has all of the cash at their disposal in the world at their disposal. But then I did the math a little bit. I started doing the math, and I just thought to myself, what was the market cap of GameStop last week or something? Let's see for a second. But if you calculate, I think it was probably in the 5 billion mark or something. So if 140% of the market capitalization of GameStop at that point had been shorted, I guess that makes about 6-7 billion. Now, I think last week, Wall Street Bets subreddit had. By the way, are you all still there?
Yeah, we're here, Joe. We're learning from you. We appreciate the knowledge you're sharing here.
I'm listening, bro.
Mine. Wall Street Bets now has, according to myself, Wall Street Bets now has 4.4 million subscribers, right? According to a friend of mine last week, he said it had something like 2 million. So it's more than double. But if we just say that it had 2 million subscribers last week, not including all the people who have joined and subscribed just for the amusement, since it's been in all the headlines and everything in the last 2 days. So you'd run the math. So if it was worth 5-6 billion, divide 5-6 billion by 2 million, right? So 5 billion by 2 million is about two. Well, I could have just done two with less zeros on each one, but yeah, that's 200 million.
A lot of money.
It's basically what we need to counter that, to cancel out the 5-6 billion short position of the hedge funds.
Joe, this is a question I wanted to ask you. What are hedge funds? What is a hedge fund?
That's money in the isn't it? Property investment.
Back in the day, it was a fund that was designed to sort of, hedge the risk, to neutralize to mitigate the risks a bit, so you could still have most of the reward of investing in the stock market, but hedge.
As in hedging your bets, putting money here and putting your money there.
So they manage the money for people, and
it's a very American thing, right? I don't think we have it over here. Hedge funds.
Well, I think you'd have another name for something roughly analogous. I would be quite surprised if you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you have asset management firms, right?
Okay.
It might be a very American term for it.
You say potato.
The origin of the term hedge fund is that the idea was that they would kind of actively monitor things and shift it around based on where the risk was least at a given time in the market. But
and who works for a hedge fund? Are they bankers? Is that the bankers that work for a hedge fund? Who is employed to do that? Who works in a hedge fund? Is it bankers? Are we talking bankers here?
I think they're probably referred to as fund managers.
Fund managers.
Money managers, I guess, is a bit broader, right? But
no
fund
problem.
Managers.
Yeah. And Owen Keeling is giving us a quote. "Hold on, boys. The next hour and a half will be a wild ride." Posted 3 hours ago on Wall Street Bets Reddit.
Well, let's see what GameStop is actually doing now.
I did mention Wall Street.
In a couple of hours.
Right.
I've got a share and a half, and sadly, I've lost $25 on it at this point. But I did sell profits already. I mean, that's actually just based on anyway.
So, is it a time to sell or a time to buy?
Is it a bear market or a bull market?
I'm sorry, I missed the question. Was it for me, Ethan?
Yeah, go on, Mac.
Is it a bear market or a bull market?
Is what
a bear market or a bull market? This is terminology that I'm not familiar with. But Michael Mendes is saying, give me, so GME dollars made me $100,000. I don't know what that means.
Your viewers will know what I'm talking about by.
Well, Mac was the Wolf of Wall Street.
GME is the ticker symbol for GameStop, right?
Okay.
So should we zoom out and give a more complete understanding of what actually has happened?
Yeah, give us a beginner's guide, Joe. As Barbara Ali says, there's always more beginners than experts.
Sorry?
There's always more beginners watching or joining or learning. So give us the beginner's guide to all of this.
So the hedge funds had shorted, and there's suspicion that what they did, they actually did something that was actually illegal,
right?
Because there's been reports that they had shorted more than the entire float of the stock, every outstanding share, every share that exists in circulation of the company, plus 40% more worth of it. They had shorted, so they had betted. Basically, it's a company that is a relic of shopping malls when everything is moving online, right?
Okay.
And their margins are shrinking, and their profit margins are shrinking, and so they're basically on the path towards extinction. And people are betting that in the long term, people on Wall Street are betting that in the long term, the company is going to go extinct and fold and is not going to survive. And so they're betting on the value of the company going down, and they're planning to profit.
Okay.
But they've obviously leveraged that bet, very highly, and hedge funds often do very bold, risky, and reckless things. So, I mean, this is about what level of detail I'm going to go into about it, but they so what happened recently with GameStop was that there was a guy who had started a website called Chewy, and he was very successful at Chewy.com for pet supplies, like Amazon. It was e-commerce for pet supplies.
Okay.
Really.
Wow.
And he's considered a successful figure in the world of online commerce, right? And he had gone to he had bought a big stake, if I'm not mistaken, in GameStop, and he joined the board, and he wanted to bring them into the internet age, and he was going to breathe new life and give new hope to this struggling company.
He bought a big stake in GameStop.
Yeah, and to GameStop, he joined the board of GameStop.
I bought a huge stake in my local butcher's. Sorry, Brian cannot tell. Never approach markets on short-term goals. There's some sound
generally good advice.
Yeah, sound advice. So, are we about to have a huge crash? Is this another? Well, what was that? What happened in 1930? The Wall Street crash.
The Great Depression.
And the Depression.
It's
the Great Depression.
The stock market as a whole, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's a very different. It's a very different topic than GameStop.
Okay, this is very niche. Then this is just a particular incident.
What happened with GameStop is quite interesting and quite unique. It doesn't really apply to the rest of the market at all, I don't think.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an angle on it because it's really something I don't understand, but you guys obviously know a bit more. Matt, have you got any insight?
Explaining that to draw out the information for the stream.
No, I mean you've done a good job of explaining it to people that know the jargon, but to me, foreign language.
So this guy joined the board of this struggling company.
Okay.
And everyone, I mean, many people thought that was signs of, hope that maybe the company would survive after all. And so people started buying the stock. And when people buy the stock, it means that there's confidence that the value, it's going to be a good buy, right? That it's going to make the money, that the value is going to increase, that the stock is going to appreciate after they buy it. And so once people start buying it and this price goes up, everyone wants to get involved in that. And so, buying tends to beget more buying.
Which, does that devalue the price then? Or does it shoot the price up if everyone's jumping on it? I suppose the price goes up.
The more people buy something, the more people want something.
More demand.
The higher the prices.
The higher the price.
The higher the price becomes.
Yeah. Okay. Owen Keeling is saying a time to hold, and if it continues to fall, buy more. UY, the DIP. Again, don't know what that is. Jules says, hello, beautiful people. Okay, Bitcoin. I had a lot of offers recently for people wishing to mine Bitcoin on my behalf. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Probably not. Anyone that approaches you on the internet is normally trying to sell you something.
From Nigeria or somewhere.
Yeah, often, very often.
Nigeria.
Yeah, lol. Joe, I've got a couple of. I know this was your main story, but I've got a couple of other stories in the news that I'm going to line up now. If you want to stay with us, you're welcome to. If you're tired, I know you had a busy day. It's absolutely your call. But I want to put this on the screen. Mac, This is like in the classroom. Would you like to read it out for everyone? Here we go.
Transgender athletics don't belong in girls' sport. Let my daughter compete fairly.
Beautifully read. Transgender athletes don't belong in girls' sport. Let my daughter compete fairly. So
I said this to you last time, was it? I mentioned it on the last episode. I said there have been cases where the parents are taking the schools to court, or the the association, whichever they're competing in, to court, saying that their daughter isn't getting a fair, well, you can say, whatever sport they're competing in, they're not getting a fair tryout. So therefore, they feel that, yeah. So there's been quite a few cases I've heard, to be honest with you, on the news, because I watch American news as well. I watch international news, as you know.
I know, Joe. If you're staying in on this one, I just want to ask you: do you think the change to Joe Biden is going to head in the? I mean, he's changed legislation already that was seen to be discriminating against transgender individuals.
But
do you think this is going to finish women's sport if former men with higher testosterone levels can now compete against cisgendered females?
But the Obama was they were pro transgender anyway, so they even made the White House into the multicolored flag to represent the. But so what I'm saying is Biden would be in the same boat, no?
It would seem that it's a shift back in that direction, but the argument is that you're not helping women, you're not helping feminism if you're making female sport into something a little bit different.
Partaking, yeah.
Hmm.
It's not giving them a level playing field, basically, they feel. But you see, the thing is, this is the problem with life I've noticed, Julian. I was telling someone else, even in family, for example, for your siblings, you do something for your sister. For my sister, my brother was like, "Well, why are you being nice to? Why can't you do something nice for me?" So when you end up doing something nice for one of your siblings, for example, the other one's gonna complain, saying, "Oh, well, why aren't you nice to me?" So the point being is, you can't make. It's just impossible. You're always gonna upset someone or another for some reason.
Yeah, you can't please everyone. Another story, while we're rounding up the news: Black Lives Matter movement nominated for a Nobel Prize. Norwegian MP cites global impact of BLM in raising awareness and consciousness. Joe, do you think BLM deserve the Nobel Prize, the Nobel Peace Prize in particular?
Well, I think the Nobel Prize deserves BLM, really.
Okay.
Is how I would put it, because the Nobel Peace Prize is basically reserved for terrorists and, reactionaries and war criminals. If you just look on there, I think we've got Milton Friedman, Henry Kissinger, Barack Obama.
Yeah.
It's just Barack Obama, really, like false black empowerment, I suppose. I would say the Nobel Prize deserves BLM.
That is an interesting way of putting it.
Yeah.
And from what I understand, there isn't actually one solidified organization that is BLM. I mean, it was meant to stand for Black Lives Matter. Now,
I've never actually heard of an organization or a banner or a movement sort of winning the Nobel Prize. I did a photo essay about a month ago on the origins of BLM, and I
Okay.
kind of call it GLM, or like Gay Lives Matter. But
Oh,
it's basically all of postmodern academic sort of theory, critical theory people who are all into this queer theory, postmodern thought. It's all about postmodernism and identity and everything. Jewish identities, queer identities, trans identities, and black being like one of those. And then one of them had made a Facebook post about George Floyd or something like that, and they had said, "Oh, all of our lives matter." Yes, that's right, Black Lives Matter, something, and that kicked off this whole Black Lives Matter thing. And it was three main figures that sort of were involved in. I think it does refer to, it might have expanded, just like Occupy Wall Street expanded beyond the original organizations, but it was one organization that was responsible originally for creating the whole thing, which will always be the original, genesis of it. It's the origin of the movement and the slogan.
It's interesting. All right.
Wall Street, really.
One more story. Here is Joe Biden. Sad, yeah, and this relates back to what we said previously. Sad day for women's sport. Row erupts after Joe Biden signs gender discrimination order, paving the way for transgender athletes. So, like Max said, you help in one, but you might be encroaching on another, because an athlete who is born as a male will have advantages over the cisgendered woman, I would imagine, but I'm not a biologist. Joe, you with us?
Yeah, I didn't realize you were speaking to me.
Sorry, bud. No. I'm just talking. Yeah, that's all our news stories for the week, and I appreciate you joining me on here. Next time we'll try and get you on the screen.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I have no idea, really.
I don't know. They're trying to silence you.
Yeah, they could be.
Well, you know who I blame.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for your call, mate. All right, we'll catch up soon, yeah? All right, brother. Take care. Thank you. See you. Yeah, go on.
Well, we'll be having actions tomorrow if you're interested in filming in Shoreditch and Hackney.
What is happening tomorrow in Shoreditch and Hackney? Where and when?
So 4 p.m. at Shoreditch High Street Overground.
Mm-hmm.
And a bunch of the Solidarity crew will be out there.
Solidarity with Julian Assange?
Perhaps.
Superb. That's great news. If you're around, 4 p.m. tomorrow in Shoreditch. Good man. All right, Joe. I will message you about that. We catch up, all right? Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, you too. Thank you very much. Nice one.
Bye, Joe.
Nice one. All right, there goes Joe, which means the line is open, 07491751203. If you want to get on, you are welcome to. We're talking about anything really, and the couple of stories that we rounded up, Joe, I think, spoke very eloquently. It's one of those times I'm going to have to rewind it back and listen carefully to exactly his explanation, but I appreciate that. How you doing, Mac?
Yeah, good, not bad. Yourself?
You good, brother? You had a good week?
Yeah, just starting an Instagram account, just seeing how that goes. But yeah.
When are you going to start the YouTube account? That's what everyone wants to know.
The thing is, there's it's in the pipeline. It's just one of them things that I tell you what it is. My last account actually got but I told you got terminated, right? So, and
No.
I'm just the fears of that happening again is too much for me to start it. So, because I want to make sure I get it right the second time. There's no point of getting. So this is why I'm testing the waters. I mean, like I literally, as you know, I found out about how to use StreamYard. Literally, I asked you, was it last week or a few days ago?
Yeah.
So it's not been that long. But yeah, so I'm just getting used to the rope works as well.
Good stuff. Question for Joe, and we've lost him. Can you ask the man on the phone, that was Joe, about Doge, DOGE? And he's saying, he's just saying, yeah, sorry, Owen, we lost him there. I will ask him offline, or if you're still watching and you want to call me back, we've got a question about Doge. Is that a hedge fund? I wonder what that is. I don't know. And what about the Federal Reserve? You must have investigated that.
Yeah, obviously.
Matt.
They've apparently they don't reserve any gold. They haven't been since I think the 80s or something, or 70s. But yeah, they've been printing out just money on the basis of no value basis. But yeah, you talk about Fort Knox.
What is Fort Knox? I thought that was in the Second World War.
No, not Fort. Is it Fort Knox? No. What's the vault called? The banking vault? Is it? No, it's not. It's not Fort. Yes, it is, isn't it?
Fort Knox. I thought Fort Knox, but maybe you're right. What is Fort Knox? It's what people refer to as it's an army installation. It's a very secure area.
Yeah, basically that's
Fort Knox is a U.S. Army installation in Kentucky, south of Louisville and north of Elizabethtown.
And it's where they hold the most valuable, precious stuff. Right? No?
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense.
That's not... Wait. Fort Knox. Well, am I wrong?
Fort Knox is in Kentuckyville. It is an army installation adjacent to the United States Bullion Depository. So maybe there is financial stuff in there. The vault is used to store a large portion of the U.S. gold reserves, as well as other precious items belonging to.
You got me doubting there. I knew I was right. You said so. I was like, the Federal Reserve. That's where it's the Fort Knox. That's where they've been holding the gold. But apparently they're saying they don't have any gold since. I think there was some.
Who was asking why is gold valuable? Didn't we have that debate on here one night?
It's a rare commodity.
I think that was a question for Owen Keeling. Yeah, why is gold? When Owen came on with me, we had the discussion why exactly is gold.
It goes back to alchemy and the alchemists trying to turn silver to gold, but it's a rare commodity, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. There's only a certain amount of it, therefore it holds its value. A bit like Bitcoin. I don't know enough about this Bitcoin, but someone online has approached me and said, "Oh, I can mine Bitcoin for you."
It's cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
The thing is, if it is, I don't know, maybe possible, hackable, but some people say if you forget your password, you lose all your money. But
there's a guy sitting on millions of pounds worth of crypto, of I think Bitcoin, and he's forgotten his password, and he's hiring people to try and calculate or crack the code to have a share of these millions. It's crazy that you could own something, and then you forget the password.
He'd probably go bald from stressing about
it. Yeah, man. Don't stress. All right, Mac. Well, look, we're going to come back. Maybe tomorrow night we'll get back on. All right. Just a quick one tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you to Joe for joining us on the phone. And everyone watching, if you haven't already subscribe. Sort it out, will you? All right. This has been Lessons for Life. We were here and we're gone. Laters.